Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. A bit of Star Wars news today, or Rogue One to be more precise. This is from The Mix, as usual. Links in the description, and don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. I'm also on Rumble and Odyssey and Amazon podcasts and Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Spotify. Usually put them first, I forgot. Also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the description, as are the links to my 2 books. There we go, there's one, Silent Predator, a short novella, horror-ish, and then Mercury Rapids, my big thick book, action-adventure about UFOs and all that stuff. It's all a bit of fun. It's on Amazon, Kindle or paperback. Right, let's get this up. Where is it? Here we go. Right, Rogue One writer Gary Whitta blasts actor Freddie Prinze Jr. over Darth Vader's fight scene. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s a bit of a knobhead, but sometimes he does good things. But when he opens his mouth, he's usually putting his foot in it. Seems to be, anyway. Actor Freddie Prinze Jr. gets ripped by Rogue One writer Gary Whitta for suggesting that Dave Filoni directed the film's iconic Darth Vader fight scene. Actor Freddie Prinze Jr., who lent his voice to the character Kanan Jarrus on the animated Star Wars Rebel series, got into some hot water when he claimed that a pivotal scene in Rogue One was directed by longtime franchise alum Dave Filoni. Speculation had swirled for years regarding the insertion of a scene near the end of the film where Darth Vader cuts down a bunch of rebel troops in an effort to secure the plans to the dreaded Death Star. To put that in capital letters like on the crawl. And there he is, with his missus, because he's a kept man. Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think she earns more money than he does. Not that she does a lot these days, but Buffy residuals, I should imagine. The scene was meant to act as a direct bridge towards Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, adding further exposition as to how the rebels actually managed to acquire the plans. So the whole film is predicated on that line in the crawl that said rebel spies have managed to steal plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the dreaded Death Star, whatever. That's and it also says, striking from a hidden fortress, rebel forces have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire, or what? Something along those lines. And why Vader was so invested in reacquiring them. The scene was well received by fans for showcasing just how lethal and powerful Vader was, even against multiple armed opponents. But some have complained that then just, a few hours later, or probably a couple of days later, when he faces Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Death Star, he doesn't seem quite as nimble as he was at the end of Rogue One, was he? Or powerful. Maybe he'd used his powers up. Anyway, Prinze Jr. sat down on the Lights Camera Barstool podcast where he referenced Filoni's supposed involvement in directing the scene. Quote, I don't know if people know this, maybe I'm not allowed to say this, not allowed because it's probably not true, but I don't care anymore. He directed that scene in Rogue One where, basically the whole end of the movie, where Vader comes through and you see basically what's going to happen in A New Hope, he directed all that. Talks out of his ass. And there's a clip from it. I've got an autograph from Chris Nolan, not Christopher Nolan, the famed director, the actor Chris Nolan, who played the guard, who gets the plans, the rebel soldier who gets the plans, and I think he screams release or whatever, when they undock the Tantive for him. Anyway, it was enough for Rogue One writer Gary Whitta to come out swinging on Twitter. Oh, that rhymes, that doesn't it? Gary Whitta to swinging on Twitter, accusing Prinze Jr. of spreading false information while reasserting that director Gareth Edwards was responsible for the scene. See, I thought it was. I thought that scene was the brainchild of Tony Gilroy. But there you go. Whitta even included a snapshot of a previous post he'd made where he reminisced about Edwards showing him a rough cut of the scene. And here's the Twitter bit. There appears to be some bullshit going around about who directed Rogue One's Vader hallway scene. It was Gareth, ILM's, Industrial Light and Magic. Hal Hickle, who was on set that day, clears up any confusion here, and there's the tweet for that. I think it's just, is that just an image, or will it do anything if I click on it? But Anyway, there we go. It says something remember vividly. So I click on it, see if it does anything. No, it doesn't do anything. Gareth excitedly showing me the first cut of something. No music or VFX, wires still visible. And it says Peter Jackson was also on set for that thing. So that's what he's talking about, the Vader hallway scene. As I said, I thought that was a Tony Gilroy edition. Anyway, it's not the first time rumours have circulated over who directed what when it came to the filming of Rogue One's most badass scene. Previously, second unit director Simon Crane was mentioned, as well as screenwriter Tony Gilroy, who directed multiple reshoots without receiving a director's credit. Some say up to 45% of the film was reshot. That's what I've heard, which is why I thought a lot of the end were reshot. A lot of the Scarif on the ground, a lot of that was reshot because we saw bits in the trailer that were totally different. We saw I forgot her name now, Jyn Erso, running across the beach thing with the Death Star plans in her hand, didn't we? The big thing that she pulled out of the data storage place, running across the beach with that. But we know that didn't happen because she climbed up to the top of the tower, didn't she? With it, she didn't go running across a beach. Anyway, and there's Kanan Jarrus. Prinze Jr., for his part, has been a thorn in Lucasfilm's side before, notably when he threatened to quit Star Wars Rebels unless all the other cast members received a raise. On his personal podcast, Wrestling with Freddie, the actor stated, "When I did Star Wars Rebels, they weren't paying any of us a dime." Are you sure about that? When I said, I'm going to walk unless you give not only me but the rest of the cast a raise. And I made sure we all got paid the same. That was the biggest I can't say that's the biggest check any of them ever got on the show, but it was the biggest check that Disney ever paid voice actors per episode. You know what? I think that's crap. I think he's talking out of his ass. I think Freddie Prinze Jr. is in La La Land. He's cuckoo. It just words just blurt out of his mouth. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because he's a kept man. And he can't handle it. Airing dirty laundry in public is a faux pas for all but the most extreme and warranted of circumstances. A lesson Freddie Prinze Jr. seems hell-bent on learning the hard way. He's burnt multiple bridges in the past. As I said, he's a knobhead. From walking out of a WWE production and away from a lucrative job as head writer for SmackDown to openly spitting vitriol at actor Kiefer Sutherland and voicing his resentment over his time on 24. Freddie Prinze Jr. was a rising star in the late 90s, but his career started to fizzle in the new millennium, thanks in part to a disastrous role in the ill-fated film adaptation of Wing Commander, which I really like, to be honest, based on the classic gaming series. I really like Wing Commander, and it's got a killer theme by, I forgot his name, David Arnold. Yeah, cool. It is a good film. I like Wing Commander. Give it a go. It's submarine warfare in space and a bit of fighter pilots and stuff. It's good. I like it. He managed to stay busy throughout the new millennium, starring in films like Scooby-Doo and lending his voice. His wife probably got him that job. Were they married at the time, or did they meet on that? I don't know, but anyway. And lending his voice to Lieutenant James Vega in the Mass Effect video game series. He also made numerous television appearances on shows like Boston, blah, blah. We don't care what he does, do we? Is that it? Oh, there we go. So he's talking out of his bum, saying Dave Filoni directed the Vader hallway scene, when he didn't. It turns out it was Gareth Edwards, the director of most of the rest of the film, over half of it anyway, if rumours are to be believed. But there we go. I mean, it's curious, isn't it, that Andor is the brainchild, and Andor is the Rogue One spin-off, is the brainchild of Tony Gilroy and not Gareth Edwards. So that speaks volumes in itself, doesn't it? Right, so there we go. We'll leave that there. Anyway. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. Until next time, I'll see thee.